All right, so today I'm going to give you guys some basics on how we graph lines today. I know we've talked a lot about graphing different points and things, but today we're going to look at how you graph a whole line instead of just a single point. So the way that you're going to see these set up is usually you're going to see what looks like an equation. So it's going to look like y equals, we say mx plus b is usually how you'll see it set up. So m is going to be our slope or the angle that the line is at. So if I set this to a different, we're going to take out our b for a moment. I'll put it back in later, but just for showing you guys some different examples. So as I change my slope, the angle of my line changes. So I have it at, let's say 4, it's going to be a little bit steeper than if I had it at just 1. Or I could even go 1/2, and it's going to be a little bit more gradual of a slope if I'm looking at it. So let's leave it at 1x for now. And then my b over here is going to be my y-intercept, or where it crosses at this line. Remember, this is our x and our y. So that's going to be our y-intercept. So if I have 1x plus 2, it's going to cross at that 2 point right there. Or if I have it at -2, it's going to cross at that point right there. So that'll be where x equals 0, but y equals -2. All right, and then, so we've got our slope, and then we've got our y-intercept. So let's just set our y-intercept at 0 for a little bit. And so our slope, the best way, I think, at least, to look at slope is it's going to be our rise over our run. So if I have 1 is the same as 1 over 1. So I'm going to rise 1, and I'm going to run 1. I'm going to rise 1, I'm going to run 1. If I have it at 2, we also know that 2 over 1 is the same as 2. So we're going to rise 2, run 1, rise 2, run 1, rise 2, run 1. Now if I have this as negative, it's going to just go the opposite direction. So if I have it at 1, it's positive, so it's going to be going up this direction. Whereas if I have it negative, it's going to be going down. So same thing, if I have it at 2, it's going to rise 2, run 1. But if I have it at -2 over 1, because we know that's the same, it's going to go down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. So let's see, same thing if I have it at 4. It's going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, over 1. Let's zoom this out a little bit so it'll be a little easier to see. So I'm going up 5 over 1, up 5 over 1. And a way you can check with a lot of these too, and we'll start kind of getting a little bit more into this a little later, but let's say this is my equation here. So I have y equals, let's do x plus 1. And I want to check to see if my line is where it's supposed to be at. So I know I've got a dot here. I've got this dot at -1, 0. So I can take these points right here and plug them in. So I'm going to take my -1 and put it in for x. So I have -1 plus 1 equals 0. So my line is looking right and where it should be. Or if I had it right here, so that's -2, 1, -1. So if I plug in -2 for my x up here, -2 plus 1 is -1. So I know that my line is plotted where it's supposed to be, and I know my equation is what it's supposed to be. All right, so I'm going to give you guys some examples of lines, and I want you to place them on your graph for me. And please use different colors too, so I can see which lines are which, belong to which equation.